Hello everyone. Uh-oh, we're a little bit wobbly today. Okay, better now. Hello everyone. It's Saturday afternoon and I just got back in from painting outside. The apple blossoms are out and tomorrow we're supposed to have storms and crappy weather for the rest of the week. So I thought I'd better do it today. Before I want to get into my Fauxbonichi flip this month, I want to share with you a wonderful thing that I found on YouTube, and it's a tool for all of you ladies that love the alcohol markers, base markers. One of a YouTube person has come up with this chart of the colors for the Copic markers, and as you can see, you know, I have all of them now. In fact, I've been buying them for the past like 5-6 years, and the week that my husband passed away was my last shipment came in, you know, of some that were back ordered, and so he didn't even know that I had the last ones to complete my set. But he wants me to go and get certified for a Copic instructor, and that's what I'm going to do probably next year. This year I've got a big trip for Toronto, so for my son's wedding. But anyway, back to this hex chart. It was created by a YouTube person by the name of Sandy Elnock, and I will post her link below. And this is a very inexpensive tool, and even if you don't have all of the Copics, you know, that's okay. She gives you a download of a color chart, and yes, they're a little bit, you know, depending on what your computer screen, they could be a little bit different than what you have. But put in the ones that you already have, and you'll see the color relationships between the families. For instance, these browns up here, they almost look green. And these greens down here are real close to browns. So you can get a very good idea and sense of color for the things that you're looking for to do. You don't have to stay in the general color families that they suggest. For instance, R12, R14, R16, you know, they would all go together as a blending group. But you can see some of the other things that you can use in a blending group or in a group. This chart I am going to be taking outside with me, and I'm going to be picking out, looking at a scene real close to my house, and so I don't have to lug all of my markers with me. And I'm going to pick out the colors that I see out there, and you can also blend colors together to gray them down and everything. And I'm going to do a little plein air with this, and I'll let you know how it goes. But it's just a beautiful little color chart. And then I'm going to put this in a plastic page protector so that it stays good. And then this is the grays hex chart. And you see how blue the cools are. And then comes next is the neutrals. They still look a little bit blue. And then the toners are grays, and then the warms look, you know, brown. So it really is helpful to see the relationships between all of the different colors. So this is going to be a really good tool. I really highly suggest it. It was really inexpensive to go, and then you can just you can see where your holes are too, that you might want more. If you do a lot of floral things, you might want more in this area. And then your greens, you know, so skin tones, you can really tell what you need, what you're missing in your Copic arsenal. So that's it for that. Excuse me. Here's my little Fauxbonichi. and we're still doing the Miguel Ruiz. I'm determined to get through this and you know, do the whole, I'll have until the end of the year. That's how much space I have left. So, and then at that time I will buy a regular Fauxbonichi, or Hobonichi, an A5 size to use. My A6 size, if you remember my last video, I was using it for a weight loss tool. I have now decided to use it for little letters that I'm writing my dear Bob, and I write to him every morning over coffee and tell him, you know, how much I miss him, and it's helped me out a lot. So we left last time at Bob's funeral on April 2nd. April 3rd was a Friday. I had this cellophane tape, and it was vintage looking, and that's about how I was feeling, and really still feeling that way. But I'm trying to push past it. So I put a lot of these this cellophane tape. I put Bob on top of the piano until his birthday, and then I'm going to be scattering his ashes. And this is the last night that my sister was going to be with us, or with me. There's no more us. So I took her out to dinner at a local pizza place. If you remember last month, I burnt the crap out of the pizza, so I took her and had a real pizza, and I actually had a drink. I got some stuff ready for, you know, Bob's pills to take to the police station to put in their pill recycling thing. And I started going through Bob's book of remembrances so I can start my thank yous. Sunday I went to town. Our town is 46 miles away, one way. And that was just really bad idea. You know, being a caregiver for him, I'm used to having him in the car with me, and it's still bothering me to do that, to drive by myself. So I cried all the way home, and I decided I'm going to stay home for a while. I went and dropped off his pills and got groceries, and it was just too hard. So I came home and I started banging on the piano. Not actually banging, I was actually trying to play it, but I'm so rusty, it's probably felt like banging to the poor thing. I talked to my friend Marie for 2 hours, and that really helped. And I had leftovers for dinner of the ziti my sister made for the funeral. And I really appreciated, Carol left that day, that morning, and I really appreciated her staying with me all that time. Next was Sunday. I decided to get busy, and I went and stripped the guest bedroom and made the bed, washed the sheets and bedclothes, and made the bed, and I straightened up, and I started painting, and I worked on Bob's bird book. I'm doing and I'll do a flip through on that, so I'm not done with it yet. So being at home was a better choice for me, and I worked so hard I went to bed at 7 o'clock. Of course, I haven't had really a lot of sleep at that point. So I went back to work on Monday, and I tried to work. I have lots of work to do, and I didn't know how I'm going to do this, and I still don't. He was my lover, my friend, my muse, my biggest fan. Everything I did was perfect for him, and he loved me very much, and I miss him very much. Some bluebirds were checking out our house to see if they wanted to move in. Next day, I practice music. I'm still trying to keep busy. Keeping busy is the key here, let me tell you, it really is. Because when you sit down, you start thinking, you know, and that's why I still can't sleep at night, because I start thinking. I wish I could just turn it off. I downgraded my DirecTV because I'm trying to save money. I lost, you know, some income, and so I had to watch all the stuff that I had taped, you know, all the while Bob was ill, and so because they were coming to get the DVR box, so I had big marathons to watch that week. So that, you know, that kind of helped, but it kind of didn't because I wasn't paying attention half the time. I straightened my table and I did dishes and still working in Bob's bird book. I couldn't sleep. All I could think about was him slipping away, which still is an issue for me. I froze some strawberries and I started doing my son's invitations, addressing for his wedding, and I did my passport application, and then tonight I watched a Grey's Anatomy marathon. It was cold rain that day with thunderstorms. I wish that I didn't get, you know, hope we didn't lose power. I talked to somebody on the phone. That's one thing that all my friends and family have been doing, is calling me every night. I don't know how they have a schedule or what, but they've been, you know, calling me all the time since I live so far away. I finished David's invitations and I sent them off to the fiance's mother in Canada so she could mail them out from there. And the DirecTV guy came and he put my new box and lowered my bill like $50 a month, so that's really cool. I drew myself as a robot because that's how I feel. Like that's what I'm doing, is just motioning through life right now. I was trying to get, you know, a plan of what I need to do and stick with it, and that's the thing. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you just do it. You just make a plan and you do it. And so I had to finish my thank you cards, work on the bird book, mess with my Copics, do my wash, clean something, which I haven't been doing a good job of, and do my Phobo flip for last month. And here I played my violin. My music has been another thing that has really, my music, my art has been one things that have saved me and keeping busy. So, and you know, everybody calling me every night. So I have things to do and I can draw myself in practicing my music, and I play the violin and the piano and a few other instruments, but I'm just concentrating on the violin and the piano right now. I did my bills, I did the thank you cards, and I have to deal with Bob's bills, and I talked about the business of dying. And, oh, and I still have my cold, and I can't take a lot of prescription meds, so, you know, it bothers my heart, so the stuff I have really doesn't knock me out. Then I used to get up at night and have to go to the bathroom, and I would always check on Bob to see if he needed another blanket or one taken off. So I kept on doing that, and then I would think, oh, he's not here, and then I'd stay up for 2 or 3 hours. So we still aren't getting our right rest, but it's getting better. It is getting better. You know. So I'm still staying busy. I swept the sand out from the car. We have a handicap van, and it gets a lot of sand and dirt, so I was doing that. And then I took out Bob's little sketch pack out of the car. He was trying to get into sketching with me, and he bought himself some little colored pencils and stuff before. This was before his hands got so bad that he couldn't write. And I found, like, I knew he was working in a sketchbook, but I didn't know he had done so much. I found like half of it done. And I'm like, when did he do that? And my daughter pointed out to me, like, when I was in Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Joann's, maybe? So, yeah, that's probably when he did it. Because I would have noticed him if I was sitting there drawing at the same time. So that was a nice little present to find from my Bobbert. I raked the dog leavings outside, getting that situated, and packed boxes for mailings. I did my Phobo flip last month. I finished all my thank you cards and working on the Bob's Bird book. Monday I had taken off. I went to get my blood test, and it was good. And I put stuff in the mail, packages for people. And I had some stuff here that my sister would use and send stuff to my grandkids. And then I went and applied for my passport, and they took it. And since I had off all day, I went down to there's this little area called Stevenson Island, and Bob used to like to go there and fish. And so a lot of people were out fishing that day, so I did 2 pictures that day, so that was really nice. It was the first time I was out painting without him, and that was very hard. But I'm glad I did it, and I feel when I'm painting, it takes me away, but right afterwards I feel guilty that I was having such a good time. So, but that's normal, I've heard. So the next day I had to do a lot of stuff with our business's insurance renewals, and the Lions Club came to get Bob's wheelchair, and you know, I talked about that. Yeah, it was a torture chamber for him to have to sit there and, you know, be sitting down and can't go into the woods and all that. But it was, to me, it was like it was a part of him. So it was sad to see that go. And I talked to my son about wedding plans, and I slept 4 hours the night before, so not very much. So on Wednesday, I did get to sleep. I had a productive day. It was the 15th. I had to make sure everybody got their crap out for checks and, you know, everything they were supposed to be doing with their tax returns. Got all that out. I had asparagus for dinner. I'm eating well. I lost 13 pounds this month, people. Yay! I don't recommend the grief diet, though. I just don't feel like eating crap. I don't feel like eating anything, so I pick out good things to eat, and I eat that, and I lost 13 pounds. Played the piano, watched GH, and I was talking about feeling guilty about, the piano. Since I've been practicing it, I finally got my groove back, and I was having such a good time with it. I was feeling so joyful playing, and then I felt really, really bad because I felt so good. And my sister told me, she said, the reason why you probably felt good is because Bob was sitting right there, you know, with me, listening to it. So that made me feel better. And I thought, am I going nuts? And my friend called me that night, and she told me about the 5 stages of grief, and so I started reading up about that. And she says I'm not going crazy. and a kingbird was banging at the window, and it was after dark. It was so funny. So I had to do that in Bob's bird book. I don't know why he was out, but he was like banging into the window like he was trying to get in. It was so weird. I've never seen that before. I mean, I did during the day, but never after dark. And I mean, it was way after dark. I downloaded Bob's emails for the first time, so it's been a month since he went to the hospital, so there were plenty of them. And to see if there was anything that I needed to do. And the Hoyer and the bed went today, and the Hoyer is something that picks you up if you're in a wheelchair. You have like a sling, and you hook up the sling to this machine, and then it picks you up almost like an engine lift in a car. And so the Hoyer, I guess, went to somebody that was stuck in bed, and so the woman really appreciated it. So I was so glad that I could do that, get somebody out of bed. I fixed my lamp myself, and it's still together, so I was proud of that fact. I'm not very mechanically inclined, so Bob always was the one that helped me through things. He would tell me what to do if he couldn't do it himself. And at the end, he couldn't do, much, hold anything or use a screwdriver or anything, but at least he would tell me what I needed to do. Yeah, I was melancholy. The house is so quiet, so that's why I make noise. Oh, I got all my financial reports. Bob's son came for a visit. Oh, and here I finished my Copic collection today on Friday the 17th, so that was really nice. So I had people calling me again, and I really felt wonderful about so many people caring about me and wanting me to go through and make it through. But Saturday, I'm doing better at work. I can stay on task. I do my work, and, that's fine. But the weekends are the worst. And I'm driving around with an empty seat in the car. And, it's really hard for me to go anywhere. But I still have to, because I have to go to the grocery store, so I bought some healthy food, a cantaloupe, some salad, no chocolate, chocolate detox, talked to my son, big bag of stuff for Goodwill. I'm trying to figure out the website that my son made for me, and I still haven't figured it out. Yeah, and number one for Goodwill, and haven't scratched the service. Got lots of crap to get out of here. I'm going to continue. I decided to continue after downloading Bob's emails. I found where he keeps the precipitation for NOAA, the National Oceanic whatever. And this is the little container that the water goes in, and then you take this middle part off for when you have snow, and I have to measure it and stuff, and I decided to continue that. Wash day, I did my closet organization, I burnt my dinner because I was busy playing music, as usual. I haven't changed. I'm reading a book called The Inner Game of Music because I'm very nervous about playing in front of somebody else, but except for Bob, I could always play in front of him. I've got to get used to being alone, and that is the hardest thing. I live in the North Woods, and it's not like I have neighbors that really are close, and the people that live here on the ranch are all like my kids' age, so I just gotta get used to being alone. Bob's shower chair, his old one, broken one, went out in the garbage. I got rid of the chairs from the funeral, and Bob's magazines. He read a lot, so there was a big a big stack of them. And one of the guys from the ranch came and got it. Another melancholy day. And I worked on my song for Bob's Scattering of His Ashes, which I'm going to be playing. I should have played this song at the funeral. Not me playing it, but I should have played it on a tape. And what I'm going to play is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He loved that song, and I think that would be perfect for the scattering of his ashes. Cut my cantaloupe, but it wasn't ripe enough, and that was a bummer. I drew one of the plants that people gave me for the funeral. It was from Bob's cousin, Doug, and it was a beautiful peace lily, and it's just huge. Bob's phone, he had taped himself talking to my grandson, or our grandson, and encouraged him to jump into the lake off the pier. And so I listened to his voice over and over again. I'm so glad that he did that. He recorded himself, and he was laughing and stuff, so that was really nice. We had snow that day, 21st April, and so I was cold. So I was very cold. Wednesday, April 22nd, I practiced my song for the scattering. I played piano. This is a general thing. I don't watch much TV. I watch a few shows, and really I haven't even cared about any TV except for GH. And I play my music and do art or clean, one of the three. I'm working really hard on getting stuff off my desk. And we lost power for some reason. I don't even know why, but there was nothing wrong. There was no wind, no storms, nothing. But we lost power. And then when I called up, they said that it was going to be 12:30 in the morning before we got power back. And so I'm like, oh crap. So I got out an extra blanket because it's still, you know, in the 30s and lower 20s, and got my reading light, and I had my cantaloupe, which was ripe now, so I could eat. I had that for dinner, and I got out my big flashlight, and then as soon as I got everything ready and the candles lit and everything, the lights came back on. So that was funny, but I'm glad it did. It came on like at 7:30. Oh, and here's Scattered Cherries, Missing Bob, A Day of Tears. Had to go to town. I did breakfast for dinner. Watched GH and working on the turkey banquet. And I went and had a McDonald's ice cream cone, which is 5 points. And one of the people at McDonald's, we used to go there all the time and get coffee in the morning, and when we were heading out on our adventures, and the guy asked me where Bob was, so I had to tell him. Friday the 24th, I had to go and get the car serviced, so I went down to, I still say we, I went down to Green Bay, and they also talked to me about trading it in. I've got to go and find a car that I would like, and then I can trade in the handicap van. I also bought a dress for David's wedding. I brought a peach and hot pink dress, and no black here. Talked to my sister, and got a sore throat, but I think that is from allergies, because it went right away. Then I did another one in Bob's Bird book, and I wished he could see them. Bob would be happy about that dress, so that's why I did it. Next day, Saturday, cleaning. I even took a nap. And then I watched a movie. My sister told me that this movie was on, Little Big Man, and my husband was part Indian, so I'm kind of always interested in that. And then we always wanted to go and go to where Custer's Last Stand was in the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. but we never got around to doing it. Anyway, this was the first time I actually sat there and watched something and paid attention to it. My GH, you don't really need to pay attention to it. You can always catch up later, the storylines, you know. But that was the first time, there was a month to the day that he died, that I actually paid attention to something and really got into it. Sunday was a nice day, 64, more goodwill, trash. My ankle was hurting me really bad. I have arthritis in my ankle, and you know, I was crying some more, and it's just hard on the weekends, just hard. Monday, back to work, and I put on my brace, and that didn't help. I took a pill, so I took a nap after work, and I took recycling to the milk house, and I saw a deer outside. He was looking for bird food, so I painted him right outside my window. And then the 28th, I took my little kitty in because she wasn't doing well, and so I had to say goodbye to her. And it was just, you know, too much changing in my life. And now I'm really alone. And I wrote out the tickets for the banquet, and I saw this quote, "We are shaped and fashioned by what we love," from Goth. And I made it 300 days with my Fauxbonichi. And I said, look, can we go back to 200? When everything was normal. And the 29th, getting ready for the turkey banquet. Bob was the president of our local group. And I packed up everything so I could get it out. I was reading a book about grief, daily thoughts, and it just is like right on the money every single day about how I feel. And so that was very sweet that my friend sent me that. Then our maple tree in the backyard, when it buds out red leaves, and then they change, like really, it doesn't take long. And I actually marked it down. This was Wednesday, and that they popped out red, and by Saturday the leaves were all green. Isn't that something, how that happens? And then the last night was Bob's turkey banquet. They dedicated the banquet to him. His son was there, and it was just a beautiful night, and he would have been so proud. I could really feel his presence there, and you know, it was amazing how many people were touched by Bob and his spirit. And I put down that I loved him and missed him, and that I hoped he was proud of me, which I'm sure he was. So that was my April, everyone. And I got through it with some tears, but no downright Kleenex issues, which I think I'm going to buy stock in Kleenex. And hopefully, you know, my next month is going to be better. And we're almost halfway through May. This Saturday, we're going to be scattering Bob's ashes. I've got the whole thing choreographed out. I'm going to do a poem, and my kids, or my grandchildren, are going to sing Happy Birthday because it's Bob's birthday on Saturday. And they're going to sing Happy Birthday and release some balloons up in the sky. And then after the ashes are scattered, I'm going to play on the violin for the first time to people. Actually, that I'm actually purposely playing for somebody. I'm going to be playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I'll let you know how that all turns out, if people are jumping into the water with them. But you know, he loved that song, and I think he would appreciate me working so hard on it to get it to be, you know, ready for Saturday. So I'm going to be going back to my hometown, Milwaukee, and doing that this weekend, and seeing my grandchildren, my sisters, and having a picnic hopefully, and all sorts of fun stuff. So let's see if I can drive down to Milwaukee. Otherwise, all this will be for naught. So I will end this here, and I'll upload it, and hope everyone is having a wonderful spring. It sure is beautiful out there. Go take your pencils and take your pens and get outside and go draw something, because it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. All you need is a little watercolor kit, and get that green going and splash it around, because all those pretty colors, that greenish yellow color is just like out there all over the place now, and it's just really beautiful. So hope you're having a nice weekend, and happy Mother's Day. Bye bye.